Gaza, which, as you probably know, is in the midst of a devastating crisis.
The world seeing images like these. Desperate families in Gaza reaching through bars, begging for food. The Hamas-run health ministry says 147 people have died from famine and malnutrition, 88 of them children. Today in Gaza City, this mother carrying home a single bowl of thin soup, her 3 children then gathering around to eat. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insists there is no starvation.
There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
Yeah, are you sure about that, though? Because we can all see it right in front of us, and it's frankly insulting to think that you can deflect our attention with all the skill of a shitty magician. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing in this hat. Oh, fuck off! I can see its ears and it smells like rabbit shit in here. How stupid do you think we are? And it is notable that at this point, even Trump isn't buying it.
Prime Minister Netanyahu said there's no starvation in Gaza. Do you agree with that assessment?
I don't know. I mean, based on television, I would say not particularly, because those children look very hungry.
OK. Describing starving children as looking very hungry is a massive understatement, right up there with "we were just friends." But while that was a rare moment of Trump expressing something resembling empathy, he still managed to make everything about himself, despite something a little distracting happening just off camera, and see if your ears notice it.
You have a lot of starving people. You have people that, you know, the United States recently, just a couple of weeks ago, we gave $60 million. It's a lot of money. No other nation gave money, but we gave $60 million. Nobody said even thank you. You know, thanks. Somebody should say thank you.
OK. Before we go any further, I love that no one thought to ask the bagpiper to stop playing or for Trump to stop talking. Instead, they went with option 3, let them both simultaneously blow hot air through their tiny holes. And look, I hate the bagpipes. They sound terrible, and anyone playing them looks like they're giving head to an upside-down ostrich. But if there were ever a good time for bagpipes to ruin a moment, Trump making himself the victim during a humanitarian crisis is definitely it. Now, he is overstating how much the US has given there and understating how much everyone else has. But regardless, experts agree the amount of aid getting into Gaza is still not nearly enough. But that has less to do with how much has been given and more to do with how aid is being distributed. Because after nearly 3 months of Israel blockading all food into Gaza, in May, they shifted aid distribution away from the UN and other NGOs to a new organisation called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is backed by the American and Israeli governments. It's a brand new organisation that's never distributed aid before, and on its watch, the number of distribution sites has been dramatically reduced. Not just that, the openings of the 4 sites it's operating are often announced with just a few minutes' warning, and they can remain open for as little as 8 minutes at a time. And look, 8 minutes can seem like an age in some contexts, like during a pap smear or when Dave Matthews says he's only going to do one more song. But it is clearly not enough for thousands of people to get food safely, and these sites are dangerous. The AP's reported more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli fire while seeking aid since May, most of them near those sites. And while Israel's recently made a big show of coordinating airdrops with foreign governments, that's far less effective than you might think. Experts say airdrops should be considered an absolute last resort because they're very expensive, often ineffective and not sustainable. And journalists who've tagged along on those drops have seen that borne out.
What you see here are about 20 pallets of aid. That's roughly the equivalent to 1 truck entering Gaza. It certainly looks good, everything matters, but it's not nearly enough. The World Food Programme says that they need at least 600 trucks entering Gaza by road every single day if they're going to make any dent in this crisis.
The pallets of aid were parachuted down to the scorched earth below, but this can also be hazardous. Here you see Palestinians chasing the airdrops into the sea, only to retrieve soggy packets of food.
Yeah. Airdropping aid in Gaza is a great way to deliver food as long as you want it to arrive both not enough and in the ocean. And it's not just ineffective as a food delivery system, it's dangerous and demeaning. If you order DoorDash, you don't want the app to tell you your burrito is in the Hudson River, go fetch. And Israel's explanations for why they've shifted to this model just don't stand up. They've repeatedly claimed the UN is not distributing aid, though, as the UN points out, that's mainly because Israel frequently denies or delays its requests to bring in convoys. They've also claimed UN aid was routinely getting stolen by Hamas, though two top Israeli military officials reportedly admitted there's no proof of that happening. And incredibly, some in the US continue to minimise the horrors in Gaza. When the Times appended an editor's note to a front-page article about a malnourished child, acknowledging he had pre-existing health problems, some pounced on that or even questioned whether we should believe any of the photos of starvation out of Gaza.
You've got the New York Times that does a photo of this poor Palestinian kid who is all skin and bones, and they're basically assigning the responsibility to starvation in Palestine. Turns out he has cystic fibrosis. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Israelis.
Another one showed a very emaciated child, but it was because he had a disease. He was standing next to a mother who, by any standards, let's just say she was very well fed. So somebody was eating. It may not have been the child.
Well, I'm always reluctant to put too much stock in the images coming out of Gaza, that phrase, because they're manipulated and they're masters of propaganda, and they're fine having their own children starve just as long as they can put them on camera and show them off to the world.
Oh, fuck that shit. For what it's worth, first, a child can have a pre-existing condition and be starving. Sick children, and this is true, also need food to live. Second, bad Santa, I don't think you can disprove mass starvation in an area with I saw a picture of one sturdy mom. Third, I kind of hoped we were done with Megyn Kelly as a society, and collectively, you don't actually have to litigate this case one photo at a time. The UN World Food Programme has said of Gaza nearly 500,000 people are facing famine-like conditions, and a third of the population is going days without food. And there have been similar assessments from the IPC, WHO, Doctors Without Borders, and over 100 other agencies and organisations, including Amnesty International, Christian Aid, Mercy Corps and Oxfam. And even if you distrust the UN and those organisations, I'll point out these Israeli human rights groups have come to the same conclusion, as has Israel's oldest daily newspaper, as have multiple first-hand accounts from physicians on the ground. What's happening in Gaza right now is a famine. All the information we have points to that, except for the word of this fucking guy and a few adult junior detectives squinting at each photo of a skeletal child to figure out if they're the right kind of dying. And it's really hard not to think that the reason aid isn't getting into the people in Gaza is that Netanyahu and key people in his government don't want it to. And some have made this explicit. Back in May, his national security minister called the entrance of aid trucks into the Gaza Strip a grave mistake that delays our victory. And his finance minister has said it may be just and moral to starve Gaza until Israeli hostages are returned, but no one in the world would let us. Basically complaining that the world is cock-blocking him from committing genocide better. And that is the argument for sustained international pressure here. And the country best positioned to apply it is this one. The one that gave Israel nearly $18 billion in military aid during the first year of this war alone. Look, Gaza is starving is a sentence that's objectively true, but it's also slightly misleading because it's too passive. Gaza is being starved by Israel. And what's so frustrating is that most humanitarian disasters don't come with solutions as straightforward as this one. Hurricanes don't tend to have kill switches that you can flip. You can't stop a pandemic by simply hanging a do not infect sign on your door. But this famine truly does have an off button, as it's entirely man-made, and we need to fucking press it. As one expert on famines has said, if Netanyahu decided tonight that every Palestinian child in Gaza should have breakfast tomorrow, it could undoubtedly be done. So it's long past time for the US to stop being complicit in this, because unless we actively stop him, Netanyahu seems more than willing to continue choking off aid to the point that what's getting through is sometimes quite literally a drop in the fucking ocean. And now, this.
And now, WDKY anchor Tyler Melito is a Disney adult.
It is time for What Day Is It? And today we're embracing the magic of Disney.
Oh. No, he would have that one.
He would.
Because he's a Disney adult.
Yeah.
Pixar fans can now step inside the fashion lab of Edna Mode.
No kids.
He's a Disney adult.
All right, well, you're a big fan of Disney.
I am.
Do you like skipping the lines at Disney?
All the time.
Okay, have you ever had ratatouille?
I know that you're a big. Did you have it in Disney?
Yes. Well, that's the thing now, especially with the Disney movies, because I have Disney Plus. I just like Marvel, Moana, all that stuff.
Do you have a favorite part of Disney World?
Magic Kingdom.
So that's a lot of fun if you plan on going to Disney, a Disney World vacation, as Tyler often does.
I will be going
And you
in
can skip-
October.
There you go.
The new show features some of Disney and Pixar's greatest hits, including Cinderella, The Lion King, Toy Story, and WALL-E.
Sorry, wow. WALL-E, wow.
Let's just keep it moving. I get it. Starstruck.
I am starstruck. You really are a Disney adult.
Yes. I would love to get married in Magic Kingdom one day. I know it will never happen because it's too expensive, but that's just me. Nothing.